Hi, this is Steve from Marshall Amplification. I'm here at Samash today to show you our line of Code amplifiers. So the idea of Code is basically an amplifier, which is an all-in-one unit. So you've got built-in effects, you've got different types of preamp, power amp types, and even cabinet types. And it's completely editable. It comes built in with 100 sounds. And it comes in a few different options. You've got the Code 25, which is the smallest one, which is our 25 watt with still 100 sounds. And the 50 watt, which is the 50 watt, the Code 50 with the 1x12. And we also got the 100 watt versions. And they come in either a 2x12 combo or head and 4x12. So apart from the different speaker sizes and the wattage, the great thing about Code is if you've got the smaller one, you've still got all of the features and the options as you have on the Code 100, because the software on these is exactly the same across the board. And another great thing about Code is, along with the editing on the amplifier on the unit itself, you can do everything on an app also, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm just going to talk about the panel first. So we're just looking on the top of the Code 50 here. I've got my preset control, which basically allows me to toggle between all 100 amplifiers. So if you're not a tweaker and you just want to use the built-in sounds, you can just literally turn that and you've got access to all the 100 sounds. If you want to start tweaking, I've got my standard controls down here, and then along the top, I've basically got the layout of the amplifier. So it's set out like your typical rig. So you've got your pre-effects, your preamp type, then you've got your modulation effects, delays, reverbs, then the power amp type, and the cabinet type. So I can literally push a button, turn them on and off, or hold it down, start editing anything I want to. And so yeah, there's tons of stuff built in. So what I'm going to do now is just move on to the app, which is an optional thing. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. Which is another great thing about this. You don't have to use an app, you can do everything on here. But I have to be honest with you, the app makes things a lot quicker, so we'll just check that out now. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the app side of things. And basically, this allows you to control the amplifier externally, so from your phone or your tablet. It's a free download, it's called Marshall Gateway, and you can use it on both iOS and Android. So basically, when you connect up with the Bluetooth, 'cause it's all wireless, your home screen basically gives you your current preset. So as you can see, I'm on USA Clean at the moment, and I can basically toggle around with these literally by dragging my finger up and down. It changes the value. But what's really cool is if I start moving controls on the amplifier, it works in real time. And if you can see there, it's all changing in real time, which is super fun to do. If you're a big kid and you like your toys, this is great. But you can change your presets, so you can pull out your list of 100 presets and change quite quickly, and then you can go into your editing. So as we can see, we've got the basic controls on the screen there, but then I can change the amp type, which gives me three sort of categories. We've got the preamp type. Now in here, there's 14 different types of preamp, and they vary. You know, there's lots of Marshalls in there, but there's also other amp tones in there. And the power amp stage, which allows you to change the type of power amp valve that you're listening to, is just underneath, and that's giving me anything from classic EL34 bass tones to 6L6s and the more vintage sort of stuff that's in there. And there's 4 of those, and then the cabinet types, there's 8 of those. So as we can see here, these are all Marshall cabinets, and there's a crazy amount in here of choice. So you've got your you've got all your 2x12s and your 4x12s and 1x12s, but you've basically got vintage and modern versions of each of those. So that's the amp section, and then we've got the effects, which is nice and easy to use. It brings up my 4 effect blocks. So the first one, we've got the pedal type effects, which are the pedals you typically put in front of the amplifier, and we've got the modulation effects, and then we've also got your delays and your reverbs. So to edit any of these is nice and easy. I just literally click on it. I can turn them on and off quite easily. And then again, drag my finger up and down to change the value of any of the parameters. But also a real nice feature is if you've got a big parameter, let's say like delay time, instead of sliding your finger up and down, you can actually hold your finger on it and it brings up the keypad, and you can manually type it in or even use the tap tempo. So as you can see, it's really nice and easy to use. It's not too complicated at all. So the other thing is you've got your playback. So any music you've got on your device, you can play through the amp, and you can jam along to your favourite tracks, and you can adjust the mix between your guitar and the track as well. And then also on the menu, you've got your connectivity settings, so your Bluetooth settings. The built-in tuner is great. As you can see, nice display with that. And there's different tuning types as well, so you've got open tunings and drop tunings and all that kind of stuff. And the help section just gives you instructions on how to use the amp with the app, which is useful. But the other great thing is with Code is the My Marshall. So this is the online cloud where you can download other people's sounds, upload your own. And this is a really great feature because there's tons more sounds on there. It's really easy to use. And again, it's all free. Just create an account and then you're ready to go. So what we'll do now is actually just listen to some of the sounds of the amp so you can hear how great it is. Okay, so this first tone I'm going to show you is basically an American clean sound. But what I've done is added a nice reverb to it and some vintage delay. So let's check it out. Okay, so this next tone is your classic Marshall rock tone, if you like. So this is the Plexi, the world famous Plexi amplifier. And the cabinet we're hearing on this one is actually the 4x12 with greenbacks. And I've added just a little bit of reverb for that special effect. So let's check it out. Okay, so the next sound following on from the last one is the same amp, it's the same setup, but what I've done is I've added one of the pre-effects, which is actually a distortion pedal, which is the Marshall Governor. So that's in front, and tons of delays for that sort of rock god tone. So let's have a listen. Okay, so this next sound is another clean tone, but we've put tons of effects on this. So I've got a huge amount of stadium reverb and then the studio delay. So let's have a listen. So this next sound is a little bit more weird and wonderful. What we've got going on here is the actual, the core tone is a clean JVM, but we've added an auto wah and some modulation, which is a flanger, and a reverse delay. So yeah, it's going to sound a little bit strange, so let's see what we can come up with. Okay, so another great feature about the app is this little icon in the corner, and this allows me to basically select whether I'm reading the amplifier or whether the amplifier is reading my app. And the use of this is you can basically have a separate bank of 100 presets. And the most useful thing for this is I can travel anywhere and connect my phone or my tablet to any code unit and play all my sounds without actually having to physically store them on there. So this is great if you're jamming at a friend's house and you want your tones, or you're going to a rehearsal room or something like that. You can literally turn up with your device, connect up, and you've got all your tones with you. So that's worth checking out. Okay, so I've been Steve Smith from Marshall Amplification, and if you want any more info on Code or you want to try them out, please come and see the product at Sam Ash. Thanks for listening.